we are back and we are trying it again, and I think we're gonna get it this time. I feel confident. So I filmed this video all the way through one time, and then it was completely blurry the whole time. So if it is completely blurry this time, we're just gonna call it what it is, and that is a blurry video, but it's still a video. So it still counts. It's been a whole month, I know, and it's because I've been in school, and school is taking up 100% of my life right now. So there's that plus the job. It's just all a big thing. But I will say that this is still such a great creative outlet for me, and at the end of the month, if I can look back and say, you know what I did this month? I filmed a video for myself and read some books and talked about them. So I did something creative, and it's not a complete failure. I know last time I said I wasn't entirely sure what kind of content I would be putting out on a regular basis, and I'm still not sure, but I know for right now that I will be putting out book reviews and still talking about books, because that's something that I still love. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you keep coming back for that. I know that's one thing I can consistently talk about. And anyway, I have a new microphone. Hopefully you can tell the difference, because my last video was awful and I think I had a fan going, but it's better this time. So now it's at least clear as I speak out into the void of nothingness that's out there. Again, let's get into the whole point of this video, which is everything I read in January. So I read 4.5 books. Well, like 4.5 plus another 0.5, because there's one that I'm not done with yet, but I will be done with for February's video. But I did read like more than half of it this month, so that counts. So this month we are going to talk about Peter Pan, which is a good one, but we'll get to that in a second. Peter Pan, Unqualified by Anna Faris, Silenced by Nicole Gibbons-Kurtz, The Unbearable Lightness of Being, and Sacred Contracts by Caroline Meese, I think is how you say that. So I'm going to start with the one book that I DNF'd this month, and if you're wondering what DNF means, it is the cool booktube way of saying did not finish, and I did not finish Silenced by Nicole Gibbons-Kurtz. Despite me desperately wanting to finish it, I didn't, and here's why. Okay, so it was not a bad book, but I felt like it would be such a good movie because I had trouble connecting to the characters, and I feel like I needed to see them or have a face to connect to them. And I know that like the whole point of reading the book, and what I love, one of the things I love the most is that I can kind of create those characters in my head, and I get to create this whole visual story in my head, but I just couldn't connect with them through the story alone, which did bother me. Like, I wanted to love it so much because all of the reviews were so good, and I think the story was really good. Ultimately, it's about an agent who is solving a crime for a close family friend, well, coworker friend kind of thing of hers. And God, I could see Viola Davis like wrecking this role in a good way. Like, I think that she would kill it, but I couldn't connect to the story. It's in the future. They're like androidish type people. I think it's really cool, but it just didn't work for me, unfortunately. So I did stop reading it halfway through. I got at least to the halfway point, and I was like, you know, I'm not having a good time, so I stopped. All in all, I'm just gonna not rate it. I'm just gonna give it no stars, but not 0 stars, just a straight up no stars, because I don't know, I didn't finish it, so I can't rate it. So that's that. That's my DNF of the month, but there's only one. There are other great books that I read this month. Let's get into them right now. So I have a new favorite book, and that is Peter Pan. I had never read Peter Pan before, and as much as I want to believe that I'm like the anomaly there and that everybody else has probably read it, I don't think that that's the case. I think a lot of people have kind of just settled for watching the movie on that one, and yeah, we did ourselves a disservice on that, because it is such a good book. It's like a perfect mix of like whimsical and emotional, definitely a nostalgic feeling. It made me think of my nephews. It was such a beautiful story, but it was very different than expected. I guess I had this idea of what Peter Pan would kind of be like, and he was not that at all. And what his relationship with Wendy would be like. And I don't know. I honestly, I don't really remember the movie from childhood much, but I will be watching it now. Definitely a new favorite story of mine. I would give it a solid 5 stars, which I haven't done in a while, but that is a 5-star book, 100%. Definitely recommend it, so pick it up. I put it on my bookshelf, so it's sticking around here, and I can't wait to do a reread of it sometime. It was a really good one. So yes to Peter Pan, 5 stars. The next book that I read was Unqualified by Anna Faris. And I always feel like it's weird rating somebody's memoir, because how do you rate someone else's life? You know, it's like literally not your business. But it was a great book, a great memoir, a lot of great stories. I don't know what it is. Even when I'm meeting new people, I like to kind of get way too personal, I think, and just know what's going on in their lives and like what they're interested in, what they've been through and experiences and stuff. So I think that's why I like memoirs, because I get that feeling of like connection, even though it's not connection. Learning about people, their experiences and how they've shaped them is just something I'm interested in. So I would recommend it. I'm gonna give it a 3 stars, like I give every memoir pretty much, except for like a odd few, like Drew Barrymore's or Anna Kendrick's. Anna Kendrick, I think. Yes. So 3 stars for Anna Faris. The next book on the list was The Unbearable Lightness of Being. And this is one of those books that I feel like I've heard about before, but I didn't really know anything about it. And here's the thing. I have a weird connection with books like this, with like the really flowery writing. Think The Alchemist, kind of, where it's like, here's the meaning of life, and here's, you know, what it all means. Here's what we're here for. That whole thing. I like it while I'm reading it, and then I finish and I'm like, I mean, okay, it was cute. And I know. I feel like you're supposed to find more connection with stories like that, and I do to an extent. But I didn't love it. About halfway through, I got to a point where I didn't care about the story anymore. And that's hard, because the first half of the book was so good, and then something happens, and it's not like anything drastic. There's like a shift in the story where I just stopped having that same connection to the characters. So I didn't want to finish it, but I was already pretty far in, so I was like, we're gonna keep going. It was a long 3.5 hours, but we made it to the end. I would rate it 2.5 stars. 2.5 because like I wouldn't read it again, but I would probably still pick it up to like look at quotes from it, because there were some nuggets in there, some gems. He was dropping some gems in there, but like it just wasn't one that I would read all the way through again, because I don't think I'll miss the characters once it's all said and done. So that's it. That's how that rating system works. 2.5 stars for that book. Let's move on. The last book I listened to actually was on Audible, and it was Sacred Contracts. And a friend of mine recommended this book to me a couple of years ago, and so I downloaded it on Audible, and I never finished it. And I liked it. Okay, it felt a lot like listening to a really good lecture with a professor that you really respect. It was another one of those here's the meaning of life style books, but it just really made you reflect on yourself more than anything. The conversation was less about here's what life means and more about here's your contribution to it, and what you are meant to be, you'll be. I do find myself thinking about the book throughout the day. I think it stuck with me. Would I recommend it? Yes, if you have some time to listen to it, maybe on a commute or something. It's not a very long audiobook, and the style of it is good. It is that feeling of like a lecture hall with a really good professor, I think. But it got a 3-star rating for me, which is like right on the I liked it line. Like I liked it enough to maybe listen to it again if I needed it, but I don't know that I would need it. Like I think I'd recommend it for sure, but I don't know if I would go back and reread the whole thing over again. So that is all. Those are all of my spoiler-free reviews for the books this month. You can find my spoiler-full reviews on Goodreads. That was really bad. On Goodreads. Thank you for watching again. You're back here, which is pretty cool. I have 4 subscribers and I had 12 views on my last video. So basically, I am famous now. Probably gonna start acting funny at this point. Seriously, thank you again. I'm glad that you're back. I am pretty nervous about uploading these still. The internet is a scary place. The world is a scary place right now, but I have a good time here, and I hope that you have a good time here too. So I keep looking at the viewfinder because you will not believe how blurry that last video was when I was like committed to just looking straight in the camera. Just know that, okay? Next thing I'm gonna do is gonna be a really cool series. I'm excited about it. I'm not saying that my next video will be that, but the next kind of thing that I do that's a little bit different from this long form sitting talking to the camera style video. My February TBR is up here. Hopefully I can commit to like more than one of these, but just know that I changed my mind about what I'm going to read in a month as often as I change my mind about grad school, really, which is every single day. When I wake up first thing in the morning is like, nobody told me to do this, but I'm doing it. Why am I doing it? So I will hopefully at least read one of the books on this list, and if I don't, I apologize, but you'll at least have 3, maybe 4 other books that hopefully are equally cool or cooler than these ones to listen to me rant on about. I hope to go in depth about some in the future, but I can't predict the future, guys. I'm just here to have a good time, okay? If you watched all the way to this point, please consider subscribing. You're obviously having fun with me. I'm having fun with you. We should make this a thing. That's all, guys. Hopefully this video is not blurry. Hopefully the audio doesn't mess up. Here is my microphone. If someone could tell me a good way to mount these things, that would be really cool too. And hopefully I can figure out how to get a camera to focus the whole time. My battery didn't die once. Thank you for coming back again. Hope to see you next month.